Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into the weeds of cryptocurrency analysis, specifically Bitcoin. We've got this really detailed video update, market movements, predictions. A listener sent it in wanting to sort of cut through the jargon and get the key points on technical analysis. It looks like a real treasure trove of insights.
Absolutely. And our goal here for you listening is to help you feel, well, genuinely informed about what's actually driving the conversation around Bitcoin right now, in the short term anyway. We're going to zero in on those signals, those patterns that analysts are looking at.
Okay, so the big question then is, what are these charts, these wave patterns actually telling us? Where's Bitcoin headed, and what are the really crucial levels we need to keep an eye on? Let's dive in.
All right, kicking things off with the immediate picture, the daily chart. Bitcoin's basically been in this sideways consolidation pattern for, the last couple of weeks, just moving horizontally, really. That's right. Yeah, it looked a bit like a triangle maybe starting to form, but, what's more interesting is what happened just recently. The price, it actually tried to break down, but it failed,
Hmm.
and then, boom, it broke to the upside. We saw that really nice, large green candle, and now, importantly, it's consolidating just above that old upper boundary line. That line was a pretty significant trend line before maybe 3, even 4 touch points. So it was resistance, now maybe support.
Right. And with that, there's this possibility of a retest you mentioned, meaning it could dip back down, maybe check that line again somewhere around $118,300 or so.
Exactly. It might just come down for a quick retest before potentially taking off again. Something to just, observe.
Okay. So underlying all this price action, what's the main analytical tool being used here?
So the primary framework in the source material is Elliott wave theory. It's all about finding these recurring patterns. And the key insight, the main view from the analyst, is that the internal wave 4 seems to have bottomed out.
Wave 4 bottomed.
Right.
Okay, why is that such a big deal?
Well, in Elliott wave 4 is usually corrective, often sideways or down. So if it has bottomed, it suggests that whole corrective phase might be over. And, Bitcoin could be getting ready for the next big impulsive move up, wave 5.
That sounds pretty significant. What's the actual evidence? What makes the analysts think that low point is the wave 4 bottom?
Good question. The main evidence is seeing what looks like a 5-wave advance coming right off that low point. That's a classic bullish signal in this theory. Now, we did see something similar earlier, remember? Around July 15th.
Yeah. Didn't quite work out, did it?
No, it didn't hold up. I mean, it formed a higher low, which was good, but then no higher high followed. It just kind of led to nothing, really. Fizzled out. But, and this is important, the bigger picture support levels, those are still holding firm. That's key context.
Okay, so that last attempt didn't stick. But this time, with this possible 5-wave move up from Friday's low, this feels like another shot, maybe a more serious attempt for the price to turn around?
That seems to be the interpretation, yes. Another attempt to break higher.
All right, let's zoom out then. Bigger picture. What's the ideal scenario the analyst is looking for here? Where could this potentially go?
Ideally, the target they're talking about is ambitious, moving towards 130K, or perhaps even closer.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but to get there, the structure needs to look right. What they'd really like to see is the potential for 2 more highs. So one more higher high, let's say in wave 5 of 3, then another higher low pullback, and then another higher high. That kind of clear stepping pattern would be, really ideal confirmation.
Gotcha. Waves within waves. And to see that, you need to look even closer, right, at the tiny movements, the nanostructures.
Exactly. You just zoom right into the smaller time frames to see the building blocks of those larger moves. And when you do that, you can see the details. Like on Friday, the price hit that 50% retracement level, just below 115K.
Halfway back from the previous move, often a turning point.
Often, yes. A key area to watch for reversals or pauses. Now, the analyst has this preferred scenario, they call it the white scenario. They made a tiny adjustment apparently. But with that, you can interpret the recent move up as a pretty clean 5-wave move up.
Yeah.
That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse. It just seems like the better count structurally. Cleaner. More textbook.
And it's fascinating, isn't it? Even within that 5th wave, the final push, you often look for another 5 waves inside it.
That's the fractal nature, yeah.
And the analyst thinks this recent advance looks, well, pretty perfect in that 5-wave sense.
It looks quite good, yeah. Which leads to a crucial condition for this white scenario. If the price pulls back now, it really needs to hold above. Let me check the number. $115,780 approximately. If it holds there, then we might just go up directly. straight into a third wave, which is usually the strongest part.
Yeah.
So yeah, the main interpretation is wave 4 likely bottomed on Friday because we saw that 5-wave move up.
Okay, so for someone listening trying to track this, what's the actual signal? How do you know if this bullish view is playing out?
Right. The signal itself is seeing those 5 waves up. That's the initial clue.
Mhm.
But, and this is really important for you to grasp, it's not a guarantee. Not at all. It's always the pullback afterwards that confirms it or invalidates it.
The pullback is the proof.
Exactly. And the key support area to watch for that confirmation pullback is between roughly $115,783 and $117,826. That's the zone. Now, there's an alternative, the orange scenario.
Okay.
This one suggests a slightly different count. It needs to hold higher, actually, above $118,324. It shows what's called a 1-2-1-2 setup. Basically, smaller waves nested inside larger waves right at the beginning.
A nested setup.
Yeah. The analyst does note, though, that the second wave in this orange scenario was really shallow, didn't pull back much. And while that happens sometimes, especially in crypto, it's just not the most reliable kind of wave, too. It doesn't fit the typical guidelines as well as the white scenario.
So this pullback we're seeing, or might see, it's kind of the moment of truth. It decides if it's the white scenario's deeper pullback confirmation or the orange scenario's shallower nested setup.
Pretty much, yeah. The nature of this current pullback is very telling.
And how's the momentum looking right now? You mentioned that green candle, but has it kept up?
Well, Bitcoin has lost a little bit of momentum since yesterday, but honestly, that's okay. It's expected. It fits either scenario, really. Either we completed the initial 5 waves up, white scenario, and are now correcting, or we're in that nested 1-2-1-2 process, orange scenario. A pause is normal.
Okay, so immediate possibilities, reversal back up could happen from where we are now, or from that lower support box you mentioned.
That's right. A potential reversal to the upside could come either from around current levels, or if it dips lower into that support zone between roughly 115.8K and 117.8K.
Got it. Now, the crucial part. What are the red flags, the invalidation points? Where does this bullish idea start to break down? What are the absolute key levels for today?
Okay, these are critical. If the price drops below $115,783, that's the support for the white scenario's confirmation, I'd have to seriously rethink this interpretation. Then, below $118,324, that's the higher support for the orange scenario, the more directly bullish case becomes far less likely. It's just a deeper issue.
And the absolute line in the sand.
The main invalidation point for this whole immediate bullish count is the recent swing low. That's down there around $117,900 roughly. Below that, the idea that Friday was the bottom is probably wrong. So yeah, those are definitely the levels to watch out for today.
Okay. And on the flip side, what confirms the breakout? What says we're on our way?
Any decisive break now above yesterday's high, which was around $119,830. If we push clearly above that, it could mean we are actually in the breakout. The next leg up might be starting.
Right. Wow. Okay. So there you have it. We've just gone through a pretty deep dive into Bitcoin technicals. We've looked at the big picture consolidation, the daily chart, and then really drilled down into the Elliott wave theory, those nanostructures, the different scenarios. And you've heard how these specific price levels and patterns are just so crucial for analysts trying to predict these market moves.
And this really brings up a question for you listening. Now that you have this deeper insight into these specific levels, these wave counts, this analyst framework, how does that change your understanding? How does knowing about, say, the $115,783 level or the idea of a 5-wave advance illuminate the whole debate about where the market might be heading? What does it make you think about this fascinating, complex mix of, well, art and science that is financial forecasting? Something to consider.